What's up, Juventini? Alberto here. I got all your Juventus news, all right? We got to talk about Djalo coming in. We're going to take a look at the latest details. Adrien Rabiot and some interesting news about his contract extension. Finally, we hear about Federico Chiesa to 2028, all right? A Moise Kean loan coming up, and then Max Allegri's press conference, where he also talks about Kean and Yildiz maybe forming a trident with Chiesa and Vlahovic, all right? So like the video, subscribe to the channel. This is the AJC. Let's rock. First things first, Djalo. Apparently, the business with Lille is completed for Juventus. That is a €2 million deal plus bonuses to bring the player in. There are reports from Gazzetta that Juve has to wait for funds on a percentage coming from Dragusin and also sell Ranocchia in order to finalize this move. Now, I have to get clarification on this because everybody keeps asking me and there's so much confusion, and because headlines like this from Gazzetta, there is no percentage coming to Juventus from Dragusin's sale, okay? There is nothing. There was no sale-on clause inserted there from Juventus's point of view, so there is nothing coming in terms of that. Ranocchia, that is a player that I thought showed high promise. This last loan spell has been brutal for him at Empoli, only getting 8 matches in, and it looks like Juventus is ready to move on the player. And as far as finalizing the Djalo deal, this is a good piece of business if you ask me. This guy, if you're not familiar with, has played center back at both left side and right side. He's also played left back and right back. He can play anywhere across the line in a back four. He's costing us $2 million plus bonuses. His salary will not be anything ridiculous whatsoever. Not that I've heard so far. And this one, yes, a little risk involved. This player hasn't played for Lille since last March due to injury, but is just now getting back to full training. Little bit of risk there, but not that much at that price tag, all right? This could have high reward for Juventus. I personally like the move, all right? So Djalo probably on deck coming into Juventus. Now we take a look at one of the names that was linked with Juventus as a rumor. Mirko Di Natale says today in the FA Cup, Juve will have scouts over taking a look at Charlie Patino, all right? So we'll see if anything actually comes out of that. Now, Moise Kean, the latest rumors yesterday out of the blue from Di Marzio that he apparently could be loaned out this winter mercato by Juventus. And this would for sure have to have something to do with Yildiz, all right? And this kind of solidifies what I was saying needs to be the bare minimum in how Yildiz is handled right now, and that's making him the 1-2 change for Federico Chiesa. I haven't liked two strikers, any combination out of the 3 strikers we have, seeing them play up top together. So this makes absolute sense. Now the minutes get tighter, and Milik or Kean, it's your own preference. I think this split is very close amongst the fan base, but the other thing is, I just don't think Milik's going to have a ton of interest, not even for a loan, to be honest. So it makes sense. Get somebody out, see if we can get anything out of this loan for 6 months, and then make a decision after that. Now, Rabiot, his contract extension. This starts to get very interesting with some of the latest rumors, and that is that Adrien Rabiot is pushing yet again for another 1-year contract. €7 million salary, keeping it the same. Juve wants more of a commitment, a multi-year. 2-year, they were even talking about 3-year for Adrien Rabiot. A 2-year is perfection for me, and I'd be absolutely happy with a 2-year extension. The fact that he wants a 1-year is kind of interesting because it could present some options and a decision to be made by Juventus based on any options that could come up in the summer mercato. And if we need that salary money towards somebody else, just in case the door opens for maybe a Toni Kroos. But in my personal opinion, Juve, even at a 1-year, will renew Adrien Rabiot. And if an opportunity like Toni Kroos arose, I think Juve could maybe look elsewhere, like Weston McKennie, as great a season he's having, his value will increase, and maybe, just maybe, now we find a move for the player. There's going to be decisions that have to be made, but the latest rumors are that Rabiot is wanting another 1 year. Maybe it's just because he realizes he plays fantastic on contract seasons and just wants to keep it rolling. I don't know. We'll see what happens with Adrien Rabiot. Federico Chiesa. Finally, we get the news of Chiesa to 2028. The latest report suggests that Juve is looking at extending him to 2028. This is what I've wanted. The majority of the fan base has wanted. It didn't quite make sense that some of the other pillars that we're looking at with this team kind of forming that spine, I definitely consider him one of them, that he was only being hit with a 1 year. It did make sense if you're looking at Vlahovic's salary. Something needed to be done there, but here we go. Chiesa to 2028. However, here's the kicker. It's coming from Corriere del Sport, so I want to wait until at least one of the big three reiterates that we are in fact looking at Chiesa to 2028. But the latest reports from Corriere del Sport today suggest we're looking at it. So I hope it comes to fruition. Now, Kenan Yildiz, can he play in that advanced midfielder role? Max Allegri kind of talking about it in today's press conference, essentially letting us know that no, he's going to be the switch up to Chiesa. And right now, the continuity between the two of them is fantastic. But I still say this notion that he won't change anything, for me, doesn't really fit the bill. We saw so many changes last year. I highlighted this in the last post-match podcast from the Coppa Italia win against Salernitana. Don't be surprised. But what I will say is this. Don't expect it to start a match off. I don't expect that to start a match unless something drastically happens with the midfield, all right? But I wouldn't be surprised if we go to it when we need a goal in a certain moment in a match, because Max did say this a week ago in terms of changing formations or setups or getting Yildiz in there, and it depends on the moment, it depends on the form and the players. I wouldn't be surprised, but don't look for it to start. All right, everybody. As far as the rest of his press conference, we've got this. Salernitana obviously says wants to beat relegation, something I highlighted. You saw the Coppa Italia roster, the lineup they put out there. It was, according to Anthony from our team, their H side, okay, or K side where we wrapped up. It was a very, very poor Salernitana. All their importance is put on trying to beat relegation in Serie A. Max highlighted that, all right. As far as the midfield with Locatelli suspended, Hans Nicolucci Caviglia is 100% in the lineup, according to Max Allegri. Cambiaso, however, with the fever, will be out, all right. So an answer needs to be found there, but I believe it'll be Timothy Weah, and Max Allegri said Weah, it looked solid in the last showing, and he has 90 minutes in his legs. Look for Timothy Weah to start, and Bremer will return, according to Max Allegri. Your projected lineup is this for the game. Szczesny, Gatti, Bremer, Danilo. We've got Weah, McKennie, Hans Nicolucci Caviglia, Rabiot, Kostic, with Chiesa and Vlahovic up top. That is your starting lineup. Let me know how you feel about it. Let me know how you feel about all the news you heard about right now on this video. And don't forget to join us live tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, as we get ready for that match, all right? And yes, we got to keep within 2 points. Inter getting away with more today. Little elbow there from Bastoni. You know what? Let it happen. It's going to be all that much sweeter when the title still comes home where it belongs. Fino alla fine, everybody. Forza Juventus. Ciao.